yesterday. We were reading that section. What comes up, or a big thing that really came up and was so clear, is that mythical me is the choice for inconstancy, something other than consistent joy and peace, consistent union with God and our holy self and our brothers as one creation, where nothing fluctuates. The choice to have the truth and something is really mythical me. And I'm seeing how we deprive ourselves of all of the gifts of God when we identify with anything other than Christ. And I found myself talking very much similar to what I just heard our brother say, and there's zero judgment here. What I'm seeing yesterday is the thing that I want to bring to every single one of your hearts. And that is, there's still this division of I'm going to rest back or ask for the guidance. There's this shift into I am only ever the Christ. And the Christ is constant. And the Christ knows no change. And that is our identity. We're not something else coming unto Christ. We're not trying to climb a mountain to get to our Christhood. We're letting go of anything after the word Christ. Things in this world swing wildly from horrific to what the ego would call happy or joyful. There's a lot of seeming good in this world. But while we still think that that good is good, or that we want that good, or that we shouldn't see through that good, we're on the pendulum. We're still identified as something other than Christ. Because anything that can change or vary, wane, have fluctuation, is inconstant, isn't it? And we get satisfied with elusive breadcrumbs in the dream. And we rob ourselves of the inheritance and the gift that God has given us and wants us to have. Anything after I am the Son of God, it isn't. And I heard a statement that really illuminated things for me in my mind, which was, I was reasoning out that God is the only power, and that power is solely good. We don't have a power independent of God. We don't have the power to make ourselves different than the Christ. We don't have the power to experience separation. We don't have the ability to make ourselves into real bodies. We don't have the power to create or even suffer and experience disease.
Oh dear.
We don't have the power to be born or to die. We don't have it. It doesn't exist. And the beautiful thing is, because we don't have the power, it has never occurred. Because you don't have the power, you've never done it. Can you take that in with me? You've never done the thing that you thought you've done, i.e. separate, and therefore you haven't. The truth is true, and nothing else is true. You're the Christ. You've never been mythical me. You have divine life. You've never been able to carve out a second life that seems to be born and die. You haven't done it because you can't. This is the greatest sense of forgiveness of illusions and a rejoicing in your profound innocence. There's no guilt in the recognition that because I can't, I haven't. You can dream a dream where you identify with something that seems to be experiencing the answer to what would separation be like. It's a dream concept. It's a dream to be awoken from. It's a dream that's never been true. It's a dream that God is not involved in, knows nothing about. It's a soap bubble to be popped, to be released. It's to be awoken from. That's the only thing to do with the dream. You don't have the ability to do what you thought you had done, and so you haven't. You haven't.
Thanks, Coreen.
Thanks, brother.
Thus the end of fear.
That's right. You
Bring
haven't
it
done
on.
it. You can't do it. Awaken to the only self that you have. Awaken to the life that God gave you that pre-existed this belief in mythical me. Except I am still as God created me. Except I don't have two lives. I have the one that God gave me, the one that I share with God, the mind that I share with God.
So could we flesh that out a little bit? So if you're living from that place, that means there's never a trigger?
No, brother, I'm when I'm in it, it's just tears and an about face. It's like there's a new stance. Instead of intellectually reading it, you're sort of standing in it, remembering, and then looking out from it. And it certainly doesn't mean that the ego isn't constantly trying to scratch on the window pane of your mind to get traction. But you know what it's you you know it's nothing. Why would you give up everything for nothing? Why would you lose peace to entertain a fantasy? Why would you grasp at mirage when you could have the gifts of God? And what I saw, yes, that the gift of constancy. You're no longer adrift, swinging on a pendulum or up and down and good days and bad days and consistent peace, consistent joy. Like just think about that gift. Why would we trade anything in for that?
Amen.